Is up, everybody? Are we live? Are we ready to go? Can everybody hear me? Hopefully there's not too much of a delay. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, here we go. We're ready to rock. Okay, so what are we doing today? I'm gonna try and keep up with the chat. That's what we're gonna do today. Anyway, last year I posted a project on the LEGO Ideas called the Ski Chalet. I know it's a super exciting name. Maybe we'll come up with a better name for it during the stream, like Adventures in Skiing or something like that. Here's a quick shot of the actual ski hill as it currently stands. And today we're going to be modifying it so that the minifigs can get to the top. So in the original, actually I have a little shot of it, the original video here. I actually have to put the minifigs on myself, and when they get to the top, they get back to the bottom, which is pretty cool, I think, but I think we can make it better. And at the same time, I think we can make some other improvements to it as well. As you saw in that video, we're going to put a turntable at the bottom so that the minifigs can get back on the chairlift. But I think we can put a turntable at the top as well to help them come off the top. Oh, chat mod for the chat. Yeah, maybe that's a great idea. Here, let's try that out. Can we do that? Add moderator. Cool. You're now a moderator. Excellent. Don't spam things. Okay, anyway. So anyway, problems with the current build as they are. I took the motor out of this so it doesn't quite, well, it doesn't motorize. I noticed when they get to the top, they kind of get stuck sometimes before they go down. So we're going to try and fix that as well. Okay, so anyway, I've been doing a lot of prototyping over the last couple weeks, and I'm just going to move the existing ski hill out of the way and show you guys kind of what I've been working on. So I have basically a big pile of stuff in various states of construction. This is how my prototypes usually work. I usually end up with a massive amount of stuff that kind of works all on its own, but doesn't really fit together. So today we're gonna put all of this stuff together in the form of that ski hill and try and make it work. So as we go, I will try and answer some questions. Make a LEGO room tour, please. Yes, I know. People want a room tour. We'll see. You should add a circular slope of snow that slides the minifig to the beginning of the lift as it loops. Yeah, well, that is just what we're going to do. Just a kid that rants. Okay, so I've done a little bit of pre-building because if I did this all in one go on live stream, it would take, I don't know. It would probably take an entire day. Oh, wow. Gen X Toys Geek. For all the many hours of joy with your builds and videos with the €10 super chat. That's awesome, man. Thanks. Much appreciated. So I've done a little bit of building. Mostly I've just framed out the build. So this is going to be the base of the ski hill. And basically I have the base of the ski hill. I have some kind of this is where the chairlift is going to be, the ramp, and this ramp is going to be the actual descent. So it'll look something like this. There'll be like a turntable at the bottom. We'll have a chairlift here to bring the minifigs back up, and then I think we'll put a turntable at the top so that as they come off the top of the lift, that turntable will bring them around and it'll deposit them on the actual ski run, which will be this slope here. Obviously that all needs to be decorated and functional. So the most interesting part, of course, is all the drive mechanism that will make it all work, and that will have to be routed all through the interior of the ski slope. So that is what we're going to start with today. So we're going to start with the turntable at the bottom, and for that, again, I'm using these new splat gears just because they're so low profile. The biggest problem is that I have the ski hill sitting above all the mechanics. So in order to fit all the stuff underneath it, it can't take up a lot of space. And I didn't want to make the base super thick. JK Brickers, I love your videos and your gear mechanisms. They're so smart. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Omega Bricks. That's awesome. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys will be able to get some useful information out of this. Okay, so anyway, I'm using these gear plates, which are like my new favorite plate, and I've got a bunch of them kicking around in very psychedelic colors. Someday I hope they make them in some more muted colors, but they're mostly hidden, so I don't actually care too much about what color they are. Lego Sonic Boy, what's the most cost-effective way to accumulate Technic parts and these splat gears? I don't buy Technic sets unless I want to build the models. They aren't any good parts packs these days. Yeah, I feel you, man. That's yeah, Lego does a pretty poor job offering like cheap and effective ways to get into Technic. Thing is, these do not come in Technic sets anyway, so I actually just bought these off Bricks and Pieces. And a few off Bricklink because they're not in too many sets, and you know, really I just wanted a handful of them, so the cheapest way to get a handful of them is just to buy a handful of them. So here we have a line of these splat gears, and the turntable at the end is the one that the minifigs will be pushed onto the ski hill, the lift with. So I'm just going to put one of these 8x8 tiles. These are actually not super common in white. They've been produced, they're currently in production in other colors, but I only have two. But you could actually build this in multiple different ways. Lego now has a new 8x8 plate, and you could just tile it. Now all the quarter round tiles exist that you could tile the whole thing. But because I have a couple of these, I'm going to use them. And this way, we can get the minifigs to move around, as so. Okay, so we need to drive all this. And in order to drive this, we're actually going to transition to standard Technic gears. Oh, actually, I set up a new camera. We'll see if this works. It's not a very good resolution, but gives you like a different angle of what's going on. But hello everyone from Russia, Ivan V. Hello Ivan V. Welcome to the chat. Okay. So we're actually gonna transition this to regular Technic gears the same way we did the koi fish a couple weeks ago. So yeah. I'll show you how we are going to be doing that. And for that, we're actually going to, what are we going to do? Let's see if we can get this. First, we're going to need a small splat gear. I'm just going to like scavenge parts from my prototypes as we go. So we're going to get a small splat gear, and now I need a 2x2 round brick. So we're going to get a 2x2 round brick with a axle hole through it, and we're going to stick that on top, and that gives us a drive axle that we can use. Then we're actually going to put 2x2 tile with a hole on top, just because I like tiling things, obviously. Now we can stick an axle through that, and we're going to put one of these Technic plates with a hole on top, with holes on top, and we'll need another one of those 2x2 tiles with a hole in it. Okay, now finally I'm going to put one of these half bevel gears. Okay, so now I have a half bevel gear that I can use to drive it. And so now what I can do is tacked on to the end here in this section, I'm going to build a basically mount a regular Technic axle with a double bushing on the end to drive all that. And yeah. Okay. I've been kind of avoiding chats. VW Bricks. Oh, hey, Jeff. Hey, Jason. Cool to see you doing live streams. Thanks, man. We'll see how this works out. It's only the second one, so, you know, they're not going to be that exciting. But hopefully some people can get some interest out of them. Okay, so we're going to need some Technic parts. As I jump out of frame, I'm going to probably need a couple of these, so I'll just put them there. We're going to need some other Technic parts, double bushing, and what else do we need? Probably some of these. I just got a bunch of stuff. Hopefully we'll make that work. So we're going to get a 12 tooth gear here, Technic brick, and this will basically mount there. Oh, I think we need another plate to make it high enough. What do we need? These are all really good questions. No, actually, we need to tweak the spacing a little bit on this to make it work. Oh, Nico71, JK Vickers, nice to see you on stream. Thanks, Nick. I was just chatting with Nico, or messaging him. Okay. Well, I actually wanted to put that bevel gear below that piece. Below the plate, not above it, so that it can mesh with the thing, and I think I need to raise this up a plate. So I'm gonna go jump in to get some more plates again. This is clearly what's gonna happen a lot. I'm gonna be jumping in and out of frame to build stuff. Okay. Maybe we get a better look here. Oh, the resolution on this is not good. But now I can turn this, rotate this axle. That double bevel gear will mesh with this half bevel gear, and it'll drive all the splat gears, all the plate gears, so we can actually drive all this as so. And we're gonna need some other stuff here. And basically I need to extend this drive system all the way through the base of the hill, and I need to be able to drive the, eventually I have this chairlift mounted over here or something like this. Obviously I have to rebuild it a little bit, but I need an axle coming up underneath to be able to mesh with this. Ecstatic Ethan 175. Oh, hey man, thanks for joining again. Nice to see a second live stream from JK Brickworks. You're welcome. Hopefully we can make a few of these. I don't know. We'll see if they're popular or not. I have no idea. Okay, next up. So we need to extend this drive train over to basically this plate here. And we're going to basically set up a vertical axle so we can extend the drive system up into that chairlift. So I'm going to need to get some more Technic pieces. This is the name of the game. A couple more bevel gears. Maybe some more of these. I find these pretty handy for just supporting axles in a drive system. Jacob Brickers, what do you do for a living? This is it, man. Living the dream. Actually, I'm kind of retired. I was a software developer for most of my career, and I stopped doing that at some point. Now I mostly just do Lego as a hobby, make a little bit of money off it as well. What are those black gears? What are those two black gears for connected to the base? Connects Maker 135. Oh, these ones. Yeah, we'll get there. One thing I realized in my prototyping is that the entire top of the ski hill would benefit from being able to be adjusted vertically, because I found the skiers are very unreliable when they go down the slope. Depending on how hot it is in the basement, the friction actually varies quite a bit. So sometimes I need to make the slope a little bit steeper. Sometimes I may need to make it a little bit shallower in order to like optimize the performance of the skiers. So the easiest way to achieve that, instead of like rebuilding it all the time, is I'm actually going to mount the entire top of the ski lift on a platform that I can raise and lower. And that basically, these gears are for that. We'll build all that in a second. I'm gonna start at the bottom and then move my way up here as we assemble it all together. Jacob Rickers, what kind of software language were you programming? I mostly did Windows development. I mean, this was like decades ago, or a decade ago. So Windows development in C++, primarily C, C++. Did a little bit of .NET stuff, but not too much. For all my hobby projects lately, I've been using a lot of Python, .NET, stuff like that. Hey, Jacob Rose, have you ever considered building a LEGO puzzle box? Like Cheat 3, check them out. Toaster oven. Yeah, thanks for the comment. Yes, I have thought about building a puzzle box for years, but have not ever gotten around to it. And now, I mean, a lot of people have been building puzzle boxes. Well, maybe not a lot, but there are definitely some good ones out there. So I haven't had a lot of impetus to do it myself. Okay, I'm getting a little bit distracted. We're gonna do some building again. Okay, what do I need? I need a brick. We'll get like a 1x4 brick, and we'll get some more Technic bricks. I need some more Technic bricks. I should probably just get a handful of these, because I know I'm going to need them. Okay. Basically, I'm going to extend that drive shaft. So, again, we're going to basically mount another double bevel gear here to mesh with this half bevel gear. And then I'm going to extend it all out to here. I think I need a half bushing to get the spacing right. And then we'll just stick that on there. Hopefully. Oh, interesting. Oh, actually, I think this axle is too long. The axles interfere. Well, this is what happens sometimes. That's okay. We'll just get a 6 long axle instead of 7 long axle. Okay, so we'll try that again. We'll extend this trend shaft. Oh, actually, that's also too long. Okay, third time's a charm. 5.5. Eventually, we'll make this work. There we go. Okay. Now we have a transaxle. Gen X Toys Geek. Jody, €5. What is your process for coming up with these amazing builds? Thanks for the super chat, man. What is my process? Well, you're kind of looking at it. Obviously, I already have a pretty good idea of what I'm building here, so I've done a lot of prototyping beforehand. But basically, I kind of envision what I want to happen. So obviously, I want this to spin, and I'll also want a drive axle here to spin, and then I just build prototypes. So, for example, I have lots of prototypes. I have prototypes, 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 more prototypes. Here's some more part of a prototype. And basically, mostly I just sit at the build table and I build. I don't do a lot of like CAD or designing on the computer. I just start putting pieces together and you know, make changes as I go to try and get it to work out the way I want it to. And usually I just break down each component separately, so I'm only working on a small isolated part of the build or problem to solve. And then, you know, as I get an idea of how everything independently will work, I try and figure out, or, you know, I try and experiment with how to put it all together. So for example, you know, designing this drive system to move, you know, to drive these gears and also be able to drive this vertical axle, which will eventually go here. Yeah, just start putting things together and adjusting it to make it fit. Bruce Shank vlogs, Jason, have you ever tried to build a coffee machine? No, that seems like a terrible idea. Hot water and Lego probably do not mix. And coffee grounds. Okay, so okay, next up we need to somehow drive an axle there. Okay, so I'm gonna need to get some more parts. And we'll hit the Technic bin. For this, I'm going to put another one of these half bevel gears on top of this, which will drive it. Oh my god, Gen X Toys Geek, 25 euros. Just cuz. Oh man, thanks, dude. That's awesome. I really appreciate your generosity. Solid dude. How is it even possible that you are not working on creating new official models? I know about LEGO Ideas, but that's not what I mean. Yeah, well, you know, actually, I do this as a hobby because I really love it. And I don't really have an interest in making it into a real job. Maybe if I was 20 years younger, I think it would probably be pretty awesome to, you know, work for the company. But nowadays, I'd rather just build what I want. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I am from India. Awesome. Good job, man. Prem Raj. Okay. I get a little bit distracted here. Okay, so I'm going to need another plate I find super useful. Technic plate with holes in it. And one thing I have recently discovered or noticed is that there's a little inset hole in the bottom of these half gears. And they actually fit perfectly on the bottom of a tube, so at the bottom of one of these plates, so it actually like rotates very smoothly and stays constrained horizontally when you do this, and it ends up, as a result, the width of this bevel gear is exactly one plate, so you can actually build this into the system grid really easily. Which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm gonna put that bevel gear, and right now it's just loose on top of this 2x2 tile with a hole in it. But once I mount this on top of it, it's gonna actually constrain it in place. I just need to get a couple of plates to get the spacing right. So put a plate there. Oh, and maybe we'll get another brick. And a plate there. So now that half bevel gear, this tan one, it's actually not even held in place with an axle or anything. It's just that this Technic plate, the tube on it, that's holding it in place. And I thought that was a pretty cool discovery, because we'll talk about this. Because I'm building the top of the ski hill to be able to move up and down, this axle that's driving everything up there will also need to move up and down. So in this way, this axle can actually move up and down and still drive the entire system. which is really necessary. Okay. Lego Sonic Boy, that's awesome. Thanks. It's just me. Have the splat gears made doing some mechanisms easier as opposed to using Technic gears? I would say easier. It's definitely easier to... I found it has definitely been easier to build into system models for certain things. Like this one or the koi fish, if you watched the last stream. Or even the video. I made a video for the koi fish, which I posted last week. I find them just super handy because I don't build a lot of stuff that's like super complex, like Lego Technic model complex in terms of the techniques. So if you're just doing simple things like making things rotate in the system grid or doing simple pistons and things, I find the splat gears have been really handy in just simplifying everything. If I were to build this with the Technic gear system, I would need to make the base, you know, probably 2 bricks high in order to fit all the Technic gears and axles and everything in there to translate all this motion across. Even if I was just putting Technic gears, like it's kind of really awkward to mount these Technic gears horizontally and have like the same thing. You end up needing a way to mount these onto a, you know, system plate somehow. So you end up needing like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 5 plates, whatever. You end up needing like 5 plates or 2 bricks high to have enough space to put everything you need to constrain these. Whereas the turntable base and these splat gears, you can get everything you need in 2 plates basically. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so now eventually that drive will drive the chairlift and it will also drive the turntable at the top. I'm going to mount a turntable top as well. Okay, so let's actually start with the next thing we'll do is sorry, how are the splat gears connected to the base? Good question. It's just the standard turntable base. It's a pretty standard piece. Basically, the splat gears, any of the splat gears, they can just mount on there. Boom. Super easy. Of course, the splat gears only have a perfectly round hole in them. So if you actually want to drive them with an axle, like I'm doing with this small one here, you need to put like a 2x2 brick or plate or brick with an axle hole in it. And now you can drive it like a gear. Try making a Lego Assassin's Creed knife like I did. It's pretty cool. Cringe snares. I don't know if I spelled that right or pronounced that right, but yeah, I'm not really into building like weapons and stuff. I mean, I like building, you know, meditative, calm, and soothing things like koi fish that swim and sharks that swim and people that go skiing, stuff like that. Okay, so anyway, I framed out the top of the ski hill already because otherwise the stream would be like multiple hours long. So basically this is just going to sit at the top of the ski hill. And as I said, it needs to be able to move up and down. So in order for it to move up and down, that's what these are going to be for. And I guess we'll do that first. I'm going to need some lift arms to raise and lower them. So I'm actually going to pull these orange ones out so it'll be a lot easier for you guys to see exactly what is going on. So basically I'm going to mount these lift arms on the ends of these axles and they're going to act as cams. So if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you probably know that cams are an integral part of making things move. So basically, as these move up and down, the entire top platform is actually going to rest on these cams, or on these lift arms. So as these lift arms rotate, they will actually push it up. So it's only going to be able to adjust by, well, basically one stud distance, but it should be enough, hopefully, to optimize the performance enough. Builds by Matt. Do you ever think LEGO will ever make a 2x2 round tile with an axle hole? I feel like it would add a lot of possibilities for making small rotating elements. Yeah, I agree. That would be awesome. I would also like a 2x2 brick or plate with a round hole in it as well. I would like both of those things. If you can get LEGO to do that, that'd be awesome. It may happen eventually. LEGO is constantly coming out with new parts, which is pretty awesome. Okay, what's next? I'm actually going to add some tiles onto the top of this so that this platform actually doesn't get stuck on the studs. So we'll get some tiles. Tiles for now. Okay, so just to give you like a better idea of how this is going to work, this will basically sit like this, and then these will push it up or lower it as they go. Okay. But I need to somehow drive these and like connect them all together. So in order to do that, we'll need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll need a 10 stud long axle. And a couple more of these double bevel gears, and we're actually gonna put another gear on it to drive it. And I think we'll also need some more Technic bricks. I'll just bring this whole bin over here, so it'll be easier to find them. Millie Archer, what is your favorite build you have made? That's a good question. I think it's the paddlers, the Voyageur. Canoers. It's a pretty old model, but I really like the movement on that one. Is this long enough? Okay, yeah, it's long enough. Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple of these, and we'll get another Technic brick and a gear. Okay, so when I mount these, I actually need to make sure these are both oriented the way I want them to be, so they match. Otherwise, and right now they don't. Okay, so now I have this transaxle in the middle. So now you can see that they move in conjunction, those orange pieces. Okay, so that's going to take care of that. Now we're going to build up a little bit more. So now I actually want to put like a control knob on the side to be able to control the lift of this, which is what we're going to do now. I'm just gonna get some. Let's get a corner brick to fill that gap there. Then I'm gonna need a bunch of plates, lots of plates. Let's get a handful of plates. Sarah S. Live comments are wild. Yeah, I know. Darius Lee, JK Brickworks is like 35. Yeah, I'm 35. Totally 35. We'll go with that one. Thanks, Darius Lee. You're too kind. Okay, we're gonna mount, like as I said, we're gonna mount a knob on the side. So we're gonna need to raise this up a couple plates. And I actually want this to be, I don't want this to be freely spinning, this control mechanism, because otherwise it won't hold its position. The weight of the top part of the ski hill will just like push these down. So I'm actually going to introduce some friction into this drive system. And the way we're going to do that is we're actually going to use a friction pin. So this is a axle pin with friction on it. And well, it would help if I put this on the right way. So I'm actually going to mount this beside the control drive axle I'm doing. So we're going to need a 6 long. Okay, so I'm going to get another. Actually, I'm going to get another one of those. I'm going to need a few of these. And to control this, I'm actually going to use I was going to use a Technic-Gear, but actually I'm just going to use I'm going to use one of these 2x2 bricks with grill side. So this will be my control knob. But on this axle I have a 8-tooth gear. So if I just take this 8-tooth gear off, this just moves freely. Like this will move freely. But if I mesh this 8-tooth gear, which is mounted on this friction axle pin, now it'll actually stay where it is, wherever I leave it, because there's some friction on the adjacent gear beside it. So we're going to use that as my control knob. So now, when I rotate that control knob, it'll move those lift arms to raise and lower the top of the ski hill. I could also use a worm gear actually, but I thought this was kind of cool. And worm gear requires you to make another cross axle basically. Okay, so this is good. I need to figure out the spacing on this a little bit more. Just gonna build up. I'm gonna put some more tiles onto this base again, so that the top of the ski hill doesn't stick to any of the studs that are exposed. And we'll get another corner plate to fill this gap. This piece keeps coming off, so I think I need to reinforce that a little bit. I'm just gonna fill this gap with a brick. Okay. And then I'm going to, how much spacing do I need on that? 2 bricks and a tile. Most of what I do when I'm prototyping is just visiting the collection behind me and getting parts all the time. You know, part of the course. Okay, so I have all that tiled. So in theory, this frame at the top, yeah, will just sit here nicely. So when those lift arms are at the bottom, it actually mostly just rests on all the tiles I've placed on the bottom. And then when I rotate that control knob, it lifts the whole thing up. And then for actually driving the one turntable, I'm going to put another turntable here basically. which will take the skiers off the chairlift and send them down the hill. But I also need to make a drive mechanism, basically drive axle, to drive this, to rotate this, as well as rotate the lift mechanism. Okay, so in order to do that, we need a gear here, and I'm just going to get more gears. I'm going to use an axle with a stopper on it so that the gear doesn't fall off. And I'm actually just going to drop this through this hole. So now this gear will drive everything on the top of the ski hill. And now when I mount this whole thing, you can see that that axle will drop through this hole in the base, and it'll go through kind of that floating bevel gear I have down there. So now when this all gets driven, that gear will rotate, and it actually doesn't matter how high or what the vertical position of that gear is. I can actually lift it up, but that axle will still be going through that half bevel gear in the bottom. So it doesn't really matter what vertical distance it's at. It'll actually still be there, and it'll still be driving. So now, why does that sound like it's binding? Who knows? We'll see. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so now we need to extend that drive train to drive the upper turntable and the chairlift. Okay, sorry, I got a little distracted there. So many things going on, it's hard to think and talk at the same time. What's going on in the chat? Okay, there's clearly a lot of things going on. You guys keep yourselves entertained while I figure all this out. Okay, so what do we need to do this? We're going to need some things. We're going to need some Technic bricks. And I'm actually going to get a Technic frame for this section just because it's convenient. I'm just going to get a Technic frame just because it's convenient to hold everything together, and it prevents any wheels from skipping and such. And so I need to figure out, so I'll need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll put this here, 9. And I'm going to put a half bushing or a half bevel gear here and a half bevel gear here. So it's 8.5. So we'll just get an 8 long axle. And we're actually going to run this through here. And I'm actually going to mount some Technic bricks to this axle because we're going to need to mount the actual chairlift part of this here, and that will actually need to be able to tilt at an angle. So we're going to need something to mount that on. So we're actually going to put some Technic bricks there as well. Along this axle. Whoops, I need the 8 long axle so that it will be able to actually freely tilt. And as we go along here, what else are we going to need? We're going to need some spacers. This is going to be a pretty long drive train, so we'll try and get everything. As we push the axle through, we'll get everything set up. So we're going to need a half bevel gear here to mesh with that vertical drive axle that's coming up from underneath. So that will be how this transaxle will be rotated. Then we're going to put another Technic brick for the ski lift slope to mount on. Actually, it might be easier just to do this standalone. Then we are going to need another spacer. Then the Technic frame, then half bushing there. And in theory, this should just mount on here. It's a bit tight. We'll just adjust these bushings a bit so now these can tilt at an angle. So when I mount the ski lift onto it, that'll be fine. And that whole transaxle will rotate as I turn this underneath. Excellent. Okay. But now I also need to somehow rotate this upper turntable that I have going on here. So we're going to need another axle through there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long, and we'll need a half bushing, and then, or not a half bushing, half bevel gear and another bevel gear at the end of that. And it needs to be five studs long. Okay, so we're gonna put that in there. We're gonna stick a bevel gear, half bevel gear there, stick that through. And then there we go. So now we get some more gear action. So now at the bottom of this turntable top, actually, I guess I'm gonna want a white one because snow is white. So I'm gonna this is gonna be the upper turntable, and I'm gonna need an axle hole in it so that I can drive it. So I'm gonna put a 2x2 plate with an axle hole in it. Then we can stick an axle at the bottom, and then I'm gonna put another one of these half bevel gears, and that half bevel gear is going to mesh with that gear. And I'm actually just gonna loosely put that axle in this hole, and I'm just gonna let gravity pull it down, and now we get rotation on that. Rafi Barker, the amount of sorting drawers behind you is mad. Yeah. I mean, I've been managing and working with my collection for 20 some odd years now. So obviously it didn't start like that. I started with actually one of the first sorting things I ever bought was this tackle box. It's like a fishing tackle box, and I still have it. It's a really terrible way to sort your Lego. But this is where I kind of keep my really weird odds and ends that I don't access that often. Although I do still delve into it quite a bit. It kind of just sits on the floor over there. Most of the parts that I use a lot, as you've seen, all the Technic pieces are right there. All the Technic axles and gears, because I use those a lot. These are all tiles, modified tiles, because I use them a lot. All the basic brick is underneath this table. All the plates are kind of, you can just see off in the distance. All the plates are in these red ones. So all the stuff I use a lot, plates, bricks, tiles, Technic, is all front and center, readily available, which makes it really easy, as you saw, or if you have been watching. Oh my god, I got dust everywhere from that tackle box. You'll notice I jump in the back there to go get pieces, and those are the pieces I use the most, so those are the pieces that are front and center. Funny to see the amount of organization. I used to have just one giant pile and would have to search for each piece each time I needed it. Quentin Peely. Yeah, I feel you. I discovered early on that that was not the way I wanted to operate. As I'm building, when I want a piece, I want it immediately. So that's why I have it sorted like this. Unfortunately, there is a big trade-off for that, is that when I'm taking things apart or putting things back in the collection, it takes a lot of time, because, you know, every time I clean up my table, each piece has to be put in its own separate drawer. If you store everything in one big container, it's really easy to clean up. You just dump it all in. But you make the trade-off with as you're building, it takes longer to find stuff. Professor Jason, may I go to the bathroom? Yes, you may. I can't stop you. Okay, just one question. How many pieces are there? Steinlaus. I don't really know. I have like some idea. Probably like 500,000, maybe. Maybe not. It's really hard for me to know, because I have a pretty good idea of all the sets I've bought over the years. But I've actually sold a lot of pieces because I don't use all the pieces, obviously. As you probably have some idea if you've watched any of my models, it's mostly basic system parts mixed with Technic, but it's mostly basic brick, basic tile, basic plates, and curved slopes for decoration. So all the other stuff, all the specialty pieces, like I don't really use them. I don't have any need for them, so I've kind of gotten rid of all that. I've purged it from my collection. So yeah, I don't really know. Favorite 90s Lego theme set from Norlego. 90s, I'd have to say Model Team. Model Team, you know, it's kind of the most directly in line with kind of the stuff that I build. Okay, so anyway, sort of got distracted with the chat. You either get the chat interaction or you get me building. You get one or the other. So I kind of have a turntable up here. So I think this is like almost good to go. I just mount this on here. So now as I turn this turntable at the bottom, you see that the turntable at the top rotates as well. So that was a very long and convoluted way to get two turntables to rotate at the same time. But we have a lot of features in here. We can raise this up and lower it. And when you lower it, you do have to kind of push it down a little bit. But I can raise and lower it. And the turntables are still connected, which is great. Okay, so I lost some snow. Okay, we're getting there. We actually got most of the drive system done, which is probably what is going to take the longest. Oh, what is R2D2 there for? Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I need a dome. We'll get to that in a minute. Actually, I'll take them off. And then when I put them on, you'll see why I needed them there. Okay, so now we need to make a track. We need to make the track for the minifigs to go back up. So actually, again, I framed this out already. I pre-built it. So the minifigs will actually be pushed up this track by the ski lift, by the chair lift. So in order for this to be driven, I'm actually gonna put a gear at the bottom of this. Basically, we have a pulley system here. Basically, there's two pulleys, one at the front, one at the top, one at the bottom. The one at the top has a gear underneath. Again, a half bevel gear. And that's going to mesh with this half bevel gear here. So we're going to, again, get some parts. Oh, I just dropped that. I actually ended up having to buy like a ton of these recently because I seem to use these a lot. In fact, this model might use like 10 of them. So I just bought a bunch off Bricks and Pieces and Bricklink. I lost one in there. Okay, so that's going to come up through the bottom. And it's going to drive the top pulley. Now for pulleys, I actually just kind of rolled my own. I have to make my own. And I guess I'll just take this one apart to show you how it's made. And basically all I'm using is a tire. This is a tire, and it's wedged between these two Technic discs. And in order to drive it, there's actually no small wheel hub for this tire that has a Technic hole in it. They're all just smooth holes. So I'm going to put one disc on, then I'm actually going to put a half bushing there. And actually all I did is I put a rubber band, an elastic band around that half bushing. And I actually rotated around itself twice. So just to kind of fill the gap. And then I put that wheel on that. And then I sandwich another one of those Technic discs on the top. And this is how I drive the pulley. So now in theory, if I just ram this onto that top, so now you'll see that that rotates. And actually I'll just pull this off so you can see that as I rotate this axle at the bottom, it translates all the way up. Not only does it rotate the turntable at the top, rotates the top of the chairlift pulley. Illegal building techniques right there, the ultimate Blue Mac. Indeed, I wouldn't say illegal, I'll just say non-standard. There's absolutely no stress in the brick or anything. People get all triggered about illegal building techniques, but honestly, you can just do whatever you want. It's your Lego. And I have no qualms. So basically, as far as that R2D2, so I actually left a gap here because this kind of like moves around a little bit, but it needs to be freely rotating, which is why I had that R2D2 head there. I could just put a white cone on there, but it's a lot more entertaining to have R2D2. And basically that just keeps the bottom of the chairlift constrained nice and easily from moving side to side. Okay, so actually we're going to take this off right now because I need to, I'm just going to set this aside because we need to work on the chairlift now. So for the chairlift itself, I'm using 3 of these strings with, they call them minifig handholds on them. So I have 3 of them strung up in a row, and basically attached to them I have this little bar receptacle with a clip, and then I have this 1x1 tile with a little mini bar at the top just stuck into there, and that is what I'm using to move the minifigs up the hill, or to push them up the hill. But basically this definitely needs some kind of a tensioning system on it. I can't just like put the same pulley at the bottom at like a fixed location, because as you see where these are joined, this is like a really big thick connection point. Even where the clips are attached is a bit thicker. So as these thick connection points move around the bottom pulley, it actually needs to it actually gets pulled closer to the top pulley. So I need a tensioning system. The ultimate blue Kazaz. There's no stress on the bricks and the drivetrain is clearly brilliant, but I just struggle to imagine LEGO showing how to double up rubber band on the instructions. Well, yeah, I mean, if LEGO actually produces this, and I doubt they will, you know, that's their problem. They can figure out how to do that. If they can't figure out how to do that, then I guess it won't get made. That's fine. I mostly built this for myself. I don't... But the fact that it's on LEGO Ideas, I mean, it would be awesome if it was actually turned into a set. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe it'll show up in the Bricklink designer program at some point. First, it has to get to 10,000 supporters, which is not actually doing a very good job at that. So, you know, it might not even make it there. We shall see. Okay, so for the bottom pulley... So in order for it to be tensioned, I actually made the pulley the exact same way. It's just tire sandwich between these two. And actually, I don't even think you need the rubber band, to be honest. I think you can just sandwich this between the two Technic discs and it would be enough. But I also didn't exhaust all of the tire possibilities out there. So I'm sure there's another way to build this that would be quote unquote legal. Okay. But now that I just took all that apart, so we need to put this on a tensioning system. So I'm kind of just mounting this with the Technic axle here so that it has some give. It can actually rotate. It's free to rotate. And underneath, I'm going to add this Technic half lift arm, I guess, with axle holes on the end. So this can slide side to side, and I'm actually going to stick a rubber band, another rubber band, and I'm going to sandwich this rubber band. I'm just going to have it tensioned off to the side. I think I want it about here. Maybe. Actually, that seems like a bit much. Put it there. So now the rubber band will actually pull it like so. Probably hard to... What's the yellow piece on the half lift arm? Oh, this is... I won't take it off because the rubber band will be... It's an inverted curved slope, although it doesn't need to be. It could just... You could just build the same thing with a regular, like, 2 1x2 plates, basically. I just wanted a way to hold... Well, here, I'll just build that again, just to show you. Out of regular plates. So I have this, I have a 1x1 round, and I'm using a 1x1 round beside a, I mean, you can just use like a 1x2 plate. And now, because the 1x1 round has a gap, that's where the rubber band goes through, basically, and then you can just put another 1x2 plate on it. So this holds everything together, and that elastic band can go around that 1x1 round plate. And essentially the same thing I have going on here. So now in theory, if I put this ski lift mechanism here, so if I drive the top of this, it will pull it all up nicely, hopefully. So now in theory, if I get my ski hill back, I will mount this back at the top. So again, as I rotate, got stuck a little bit. I might actually need to tension it a bit tighter to make it work. Also need to clip all these on the right way. Okay, so now I have a ski hill. So in theory, you can put a skier on it and he'll get dragged to the top. You can get there, little buddy. Then he'll land on the turntable, he'll come around, and he will promptly fall off. So obviously he needs to go on the downslope. So we actually need to build a thing for him to get to the bottom. But before we do that, actually, I never really talked about how we're going to drive all this. And I'm actually going to stick a motor on it. And I actually built it into the base here, a place to put an M motor. And we can actually just ram that in there. And just stick a double gear on the end of the motor, which meshes with this double gear. And I can turn on the motor and everything works. Okay, so actually I'm just going to leave that in there. Since we're getting close to the end, actually I'll put this back on. Okay, so there's a few things actually that I'm missing here. One is actually I noticed when I was prototyping all this, I need to put like a wall here so the minifigs don't get pulled off. So for that, I am going to get some basic bricks. I'm just gonna pull a couple of these here. Maybe like a 2x4. Well, actually, we'll just take that one off. 2x4, maybe another 2x4. Then we're going to need to tile it. I do like these 2x6 tiles that LEGO recently came up with. I actually just bought a bunch of these off Bricks and Pieces because I know they're going to be super handy. So that's that. Then we're going to need a little wall and put another tile there. So that way when the minifig gets to the top, yeah, nice. Okay, so we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Under 2 hours, I predict. We'll get this all done in under 2 hours. And he will promptly fall off. Yeah, he will. Will the R2D2 be included in the idea set? No. I'll make a video for this at some point to promote the Ideas project. And I probably will not include the R2D2 there. I will probably just put a regular unprinted dome. Jelco C, does your preference go out to making YouTube shorts or long videos with explanations? Well, considering shorts is pretty new, and I've only posted 2 of them, and I think I will post more shorts because, to be honest, for a lot of my models, most people just want to see the like 15 seconds of them actually working. Even when I make the explanation videos, which is probably most of the content on my YouTube channel, the audience retention drops off like drastically after the first like 30 seconds. Most people are just interested in seeing the model move. and then only like a small percentage of people actually watch the explanation to the end, because it's actually not very interesting for most people. Most people just want to see cool stuff. They don't need like an in-depth explanation of the nitty-gritty of how it all works. So I think shorts is an interesting idea, and I probably will post more shorts as we go. But I do like making the explanation videos, and obviously some people really enjoy watching them and learning how the models work. So I will continue to do that, obviously. We'll see. Obviously, I don't make a ton of content. I'm not like pushing out like a video every day or anything. Usually once every couple weeks I make a video. So, we'll see how things go. I don't know. I'm very flexible. I have no like fixed idea of what kind of videos I will make. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna take a building break. We're gonna look at the chat for a bit. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Quentin Peely, sadly that's the direction we're headed. Mobile viewing, yeah. Darius Lee, yeah. I mean, shorts is definitely a polarizing system, I guess. I mean, same with TikTok videos, and even Vine before that. Like, people just constantly want to be bombarded with quick hits of entertainment. And the long form video, it's not dead, obviously. There's definitely a lot of interest in it, but it's, I don't know, there's less and less interest, I guess. YouTube Shorts may give some spikes in subs, but those subs are mostly not returning subs. Yeah, Gen X, Toy Geek, Jody, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I see the same thing happen with all my videos as well. Like, my most popular videos are the 2 black box videos, and I've gotten a ton of subscribers from those 2 videos. But those 2 videos are like, I don't make videos like that on my channel on a regular basis. So the people that subscribe because they watch those 2 videos, they don't watch any of the other content I make, because that's not why they subscribe to my channel. Same with some of the popular build videos, like the Domino Machine is super popular, and it gets a lot of interest from people that are just like casually interested in seeing machines or mechanisms and stuff. But the people that subscribe because they watch that video, they don't watch any of the rest of my content either, because they're not interested in that content, which is fine. Like, I don't mind, but as a result, the number of subs is like a meaningless number pretty much, because the actual number of subscribers to my channel that are actually interested in most of the content I make, it's probably only like 30,000 people. Again, which is fine. That's a ton of people. And like, I love making videos for those people. But I try not to pay too much attention to the sub count, because it really doesn't reflect the number of people that are actually interested in the content I create. Okay. Okay, sorry. I said I was going to answer questions, but I kind of rambled on for a minute there about YouTube. Teleporting Biscuit, do you ever listen to music while you're building? Yes, I do. I usually do. I mean, I listen to, I guess my genre of choice is probably just like alternative rock, although any kind of alternative / indie music, even like alternative folk kind of stuff, like kind of mellow stuff, that's got like a good beat or like interesting. But yeah, I mean, every once in a while I go on I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so every once in a while I'll just throw on some like power ballads from the 80s, and that really gets me rocking. But yeah, mostly like alternative stuff, I guess. Pavin Durga Nivas, do you design everything beforehand? Well, I mean, yes, obviously. When I show like a showcase video, oh, you mean for my build videos? For the build videos, yes, I pretty much have them all designed beforehand, because otherwise, you'll get a video like you see here. Like, I had most of this pre-built, and it's still going to take me like an hour and a half to put it together. And if I actually did the entire thing as a build video, it would be like 8 hours of me figuring out how things work and making it build. So yeah, for all the build videos, I definitely have them all pretty much pre-built or pre-planned, and then I just build them on camera. Gribnik, hi, thanks for the great content. How do you sort your parts? I sort my parts primarily by part type. So as I said, like these are all tiles right behind me. These are 2x2 tiles, various colors. I actually have the 2x2 tiles split into monochrome versus colored, just because I use monochrome a lot more, so it's easier to find. If there's not a lot of parts, I'll just keep all the parts of a single color in a bin. For plates, actually, just before I answer the question, Gen X Toys Geek, another €5 donation or super chat, whatever. That's awesome, man. Kudos to the moderator. Yeah, thanks, man. I owe you a beer for Jody for moderating. Oh my God. Also, if anybody wants to moderate in the future, it'd probably be handy to have a couple moderators. Get in contact with me through email or whatever, social media, and also Jody, I really appreciate all the help. Obviously, there's no obligation to stay to the end. If you want to leave, just let me know. I'll get somebody else to do it. For plates, for example, these are all my 1x2 plates, and actually, caveat, these are not all of my 1x2 plates. This is the working set of 1x2 plates that I have, and I have them kind of split up by color. So again, we have like monochrome at the front because I use those the most. Whatever, bright colors, muted colors, tan and brown because I use those a ton as well. And then less used colors and trans in the back. So this is like the working set of plates. So this is like enough plates that I need easy access to. But if I'm working on a project that needs like 1,000 1x2 plates, I have them. Oh, that's not it. I know they're in here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Ah. These two bins have all my 1x2 plates in them. These are like monochrome and some of them. These are like other colored 1x2 plates. So this is like my overflow system of 1x2 plates. Obviously I don't need this many plates readily accessible in my collection, which is why I have only the ones you saw in that drawer readily accessible. The rest are under here. And basically that's the system I use for most of my... Same with those like 2x2 tiles I showed you earlier. Those aren't all the 2x2 tiles I have. I have a ton underneath as well. Darius Lee, Jason's inbox tomorrow, 2,000 unread messages. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I know. That's what I asked for. George Haglitner. Sorry if I butchered your name. Hello from Austria. Are you using Lego parts only, or do you have parts from alternate manufacturers? For my builds, I only use Lego parts. I do have parts from other manufacturers, but for like most of the builds I make for this channel, for most of the designs I make, because I release instructions for them, people have Lego parts. Lego parts are pretty easy to get. They are expensive, but I usually limit myself to Lego palette. So usually, yeah, I only have Lego parts in my working set here. Funny story, the orrery just was released as a CATA model, so in theory, I'll get some of those on the way. I'll probably make a build video of that as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll find out. If you do, you already do. Okay, Gen X Toys Geek Jody sent you an email regarding moderator. Oh, well, dude, I mean, geez, I can just do that right now because you've been awesome. Did I do that? I don't even know. Yeah, I think you're a moderator now. Tricks and Bricks, if you're ever coming to Denmark again, you have to come by the Lego shop in the airport and say hi. Oh, do you actually work there? That's awesome. Like in Billund? Or in like... Because, I mean, I have been to that airport a couple times. But that's awesome. And thanks for joining again. I obviously remember you from last time. The last... how much t-shirt cost? Actually, yeah, I have no idea. Sent you an Instagram DM, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. Back to building. Okay. So we have a thingamadoodad ski run. So I actually need to, I want to like put some chicanes in this. I want to make it look like, you know, I don't just want the minifig to go straight down the hill. So we've got to put some turns in there. And we were talking about parts. Here's all my 1x2 cheese slopes. So we're gonna get some white ones, and we're gonna build a little thing. And I'm actually using, these are our windscreen pieces, and I don't know how common they are, but in solid colors anyway. In white, I don't think they're all that common, but I actually only own 3, and I had to buy one from Bricklink to actually make the ski hill model for LEGO Ideas. So I have to go take them off the ski hill. So these are the 3 that I had on the ski hill. I need to actually take them off, and we are going to use them, yeah, to put some chicanes in here. So hopefully it'll give them, the minifigs, a nice little path to make it down. And then we actually need some buffers. On the side, so they don't fall off the other end. So now in theory, if I stick a minifig at the top of this, they will go down. Awesome. Gen X toy. How much JK t-shirt costs? Actually, they're on TeePublic right now, but I'm actually gonna release a bunch of new shirts. These shirts are kind of old. I've just been working on some t-shirt designs. So I will definitely publicize that at some point when that happens. Okay, let's see if we can get this on here. And I actually have, this is just mounted again on some Technic pins so that it rotates. Oh, thanks for the Patreon. Oh, yeah, I have a Patreon if anybody wants to join Patreon. But for the purpose of this stream, you should go support the LEGO Ideas project. Here, I'm going to add something in the chat here. Does this link work? Oh yeah, Ski Chalet. I'm gonna pin this. Message pinned. If you like the Ski Chalet project, go add your support on LEGO Ideas. I assume anybody that's watching this has probably actually already supported it, but you know, whatever. We'll okay. Okay, so now we have, yeah. Also, I should note that I had to add this quarter round brick at the end to make sure the minifigs don't like fly off the end of the ski lift. Okay, I actually need to constrain this a little bit too at the bottom. I'm just gonna put a plate there, a brick there. Okay, so in theory they come off the turntable. He seems to, oh, maybe he should come in one. He was getting a little caught up there. Oh yeah, there we go. Booking it down the hill. So in theory, oh my god, are we almost done here? Oh no, I can see he gets on the turntable and he just keeps going around. Yeah, so we need a way to like we need a way to push him off the turntable. He needs to get off the turntable. So how are we going to do that? We're gonna mount, we're just gonna mount a tile basically so that as he comes around, he'll hit it and be directed off. I'm gonna need another plate. And also I'm just gonna put, there's like an unsightly gray gap there. I'm gonna get curved slope to cover that up. So I just have actually I have a wedge plate, and actually I'm just gonna put a round tile in the middle there. Okay, so now in theory, where did my minifig just go? Well, there he is. So when he gets to the top, oh yeah, he did come flying down though. He went. Whoa, he's coming off a little hot. Oh, he also needs a way to be directed onto the chairlift as well. Forgot about that part. Okay, so actually what I need to do, I need to take this off for a minute. So similar to what we did at the top, to have this direct him off, when he comes around the bottom, like I need a way to direct him or her, them, it, the minifig, whatever they are. So actually I need a way, and oh, I actually had, this is my prototype one I made. This just is gonna sit like here, so that as the minifig comes around, it gets directed into the thing. But let's make this white for one thing, because snow is white. Why are these all the same? Okay, here we go. So we're gonna get a white one. Do you have a rare red Darth Vader? No, I do not. Yermase, hello! Sending appreciation for your work from Ukraine. I dream of moving to Canada one day. Currently learning French, just in case. You or Crystal speak French? Excuse me for being off topic. That's fine. I do not speak French much at all. Crystal does, though. Yep. So I need a brick. Depending on where you live in Canada, it's either super useful or not useful at all. If you live anywhere near Quebec, or obviously in Quebec, then obviously knowing French is very handy. If you live in any other province, it's not really that necessary. Okay, so 2 by 10 plate. Again, I'll get that white. And I actually want to mount these on top of these gear plates, but these are spinning, so in order to be able to do that, I need to get some turntables. So I'm going to get these standard plate turntables, and I'm actually just going to stick them on top of the middle of those, and that way I have a place to mount this thing, and that won't bind anything up. Okay, so now the minifig gets moved and promptly falls over. Okay, so, oh man, he got picked up. That's pretty awesome. And he is going to fall into oblivion. Okay, actually, he does tend to fall into this pit here. So I need to fill that in with some stuff, which we'll get to in a second. How's the useless box? Have you been able to tame him yet? He's actually still around. He's in a box, literally a cardboard box somewhere on the other end of the room. Yeah, I keep thinking about making another black box video, but I just don't think it'll have the same appeal or same impact as they did before. Nicholas Chateauneuf. Speaking of Quebec, hi from Quebec. Hey, buddy. Thanks for joining. Okay, we're almost there. I can feel it. Oh yeah, I need to fill this gap. And when I was prototyping this, I noticed I can't just put a tile there because he gets kind of stuck up on it. But if I just put some cheese slopes, I'm just going to put a couple cheese slopes there. And also some 1x1 plates in between them to just that kind of give that like left ski something to support as he comes around. Again, as it comes around. Excellent. Okay. I don't know why this gets bound up a lot still. I still think there's some refinement to do. I'm just going to change out that curved slope. So these bind have less to catch on when they come around. Okay. Where is your silver play button? Created shots. It is in a box in somewhere in the other side of the basement. I guess I could put it up behind me or something, but I don't know. It's not that important to me, I guess, so... Okay, this seems to work a little bit better. A little bit more reliable. Okay, okay, so here we go. Actually, I'm gonna... So, I'll put the actual ski hill back on, or the run. Get the upper turntable on, get the redirector. Okay, now we have a big thing of white. Okay. Oh, fatal catastrophic error. How did that get in there? Sorry, I have to adjust. That one is a little bit low. Oh, he went flying off the end. Well, we clearly need a little bit more direction. Need something to... Oh man, he likes going flying. Okay, we're gonna need to increase my stopping power at the bottom. Okay, before we do that, let's see what's going on in the chat. Can you offset the turns of the ski path a bit more to make the minifig go slower? Yeah, maybe. We might do some adjusting. Hi, Jason's greeting from Luxembourg. Thanks for inspirational videos. I'm always amazed by the elegance of your builds. Oh, thanks, Chris. It's great to hear. I definitely appreciate that. Okay. So we need to increase the stopping power. Let's just, for now, I'm just going to put another brick here. I don't know. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, got a little ram there. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, failure. He flipped over the end. Yep. I think you might need some additional support there as well. So we'll just get a plate. And a tile so he doesn't fall into this gap. For now, anyway. Yeah, I think that might help. Oh, but see, now he gets stuck on that. So similarly to like I did on this end, I'm just gonna put some cheese slopes there. Hopefully this will prevent him from her again. Sorry. He is a boy, so that's why I keep calling him him. Oh, we still got some. This is, you're getting the full experience here. This is definitely what I spend most of my time doing. When I'm working on a project or mechanism, it's just tweaking. It's just like all these fine adjustments to make it work. He's still coming off a little bit too hot. Which is pretty funny because when I was prototyping, I found some of them were going too slow. Let's try another one. There's definitely... Oh, I know what the problem is. I think compared to my prototypes, some of these ski lift things are getting stuck as they come around. Okay, let's see if we can get two going at once. Oh yeah, see, this guy doesn't go as fast at all. He's got much slower skis. Let's try the ski instructor. Well, again, more fine tweaking. Let's just get some, what am I looking for here? I know they're somewhere. Corner. Well, I don't have any of these in white right now. Okay, 2 minifigs. Whoa. Oh, they're a bit close. Whoa, too hot to handle. I see. You are definitely kind of annoying. Okay, we're in the chat here. Okay. Slow down with the emotes there, buddy. Yeah, I just briefly saw that. Could use some 2x3 curved slopes to create some jumps while the skier comes down the hill. Oh my goodness. Now you're talking next level. That would definitely be some like next level stuff. Okay, I can definitely fix that binding issue. That's not a problem. Might have to take apart some things though. But for now, I'm just it works. Well, see, this guy definitely catches up with the other one though. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Can we get 3? Let's get another, I think the short skiers are definitely a little bit, do I have any more floating around? I don't even know where all my skiers went. Oh, he just fell off. He went off the side. Off the rails. Yeah, use the curve slope to remove the gap where it's been caught. Gary Crosby. Yep, I will definitely do that. Oh, don't get too bunched up. Oh, too hot to handle. Sorry, I just got distracted playing with the thing. It's pretty fun, I gotta say. I think there's could be some small modifications to the configuration at the bottom to make it work. But in theory, the proof of concept is all there. Do I have a Mr. Gold? No, I do not. One died. Put a long flat piece to catch the gold end at the lift to help stop dropping. Yep. Hit the link in the pinned comment. Yeah, did anybody go support this? Let's go. How many supporters are we at? Oh yeah, 46, 47. Thanks for all the support, dude, guys. Okay. Anyway, I think we're pretty much done here. Obviously, this model is not completely complete. But mostly what's left, I'll just add some like sidewall, basically. Build up a white sidewall to like hide all that. Similar to how I did in the actual project. So in the actual project, you know, I have like, you know, I'll just build up a sidewall kind of there to fill that gap, which will be boring and dull. So I'll do that later. And actually might put some trees and such like in the, where there's no skiers going, just to break up the whiteness. It's like a little bit too white. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. And then obviously down here, I'm just going to add some tiles or curved slopes so that these don't get caught up in this gap that's here, obviously. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. The way they come off the top is really good. It turns out they all go pretty fast, so I didn't need to use the adjustment. But I found they always go super fast at the very beginning. And then once the model sits around for like a week or so, they slow down. And I'm guessing it's just because of like dust accumulation on the track, maybe. So we'll see. I can adjust this so it's a little less steep as well, if I need to slow them down a lot. But all of that stuff is just kind of like minor tweaking. And yeah, hopefully that's it. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining. I'll answer a few questions before I sign off, if anybody has any. So what's up with the R2D2 Lego Technic 27? Well, you missed it. If you missed it, you missed it. Jorge Alejandro Sosa de Leon. Wow, that is quite the handle. I love your videos. I don't know how to build something like you build, but I try. I mean, that's all you can do. Try. I mean, it took me like, I've been doing. I've been building ever since I was a kid, and even after I got back into it as an adult, I didn't start building these complicated like kinetic sculptures right away. It was definitely a long progress and process of learning kind of how things work with building with Technic and how to design things well. So it's a long process. Don't get discouraged for sure. What was your first mock? Toaster oven. As a kid, I built all kinds of mocks. Like that's what we did back in the day. I, built a set, took it apart, and started building my own things. As an adult, my first mock was probably, I think I want to say like, it was either a restaurant for a train layout we did locally, or it was a hyperspace booster ring for the Jedi Starfighter. And of course now LEGO has produced them themselves, but back in the day they didn't have any, so I just built my own. Do you think you'll ever come down to Brickvention again? Oh, Jack Frost. I remember I was just a kid when you came in 2017. And then I'm just talking to Crystal because I didn't want to bother you. I would love to go to Brickvention. Brickvention was awesome, especially since it's in January and like around now. And right now I woke up, it was minus 30 degrees Celsius outside. So you know what? I would love to be in Australia right now. It'd be pretty awesome. But of course it's really far away from Canada, so we'll see if that ever happens. Oh man, the chat is flying. I missed Justin Berg Down Under. JK Brickers is partnered with a company that sells fake Lego pieces. I don't know if you should trust them. Well, why would you trust me anyway? I'm just some rando on the internet. Why would you ever trust me? Jeez. Also, Lego's not paying my bills, so, if Lego ever wants to subsidize this channel or what I do, they're more than welcome to. You missed a birthday. Did I miss a birthday? Was it somebody's birthday? Happy birthday. Can you build 3-rope chairlift station? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but we'll see. What was my first Lego set? My first Lego set was probably, I'm gonna guess, a set of basic building blocks. Because again, back in the day, there weren't a lot of fancy sets, and that's what you got. Feng Nguyen, great video. Thanks, man. Chuck C, I enjoyed the stream. You're an awesome builder, and I can't wait to see the finished product. See ya. Thanks for popping in. Can you make a working fan? Sounds pretty boring, so I'm gonna pass on that. I'm wondering what company. A lot of companies doesn't actually infringe Lego's IP. Yeah, for sure. I partnered with Kata, and Kata I think is one of the, I guess, reputable clone manufacturers. They don't steal sets from Lego. They don't steal designs from Lego. They don't steal sets from mock builders. I have a lot of experience in this space. I've had a lot of my designs stolen from, clone brands. So, you don't have to tell me about the pain. Eric Chan. $30.99. What's that, Australian dollars? I have no idea. That's awesome. Thanks so much for the donation. Yeah, so anyway, I've partnered with Kata. We'll see how it works out. I don't know. I haven't actually got the set yet. So they sent me a prototype. And it looked pretty good. I designed it, but they tweaked a few things. Nothing crazy. But in theory, I'll get the set within the next week or so. I'm sure I'll make a video about it. Are you going to change other parts of this set? Oh, you mean like for the chalet and stuff? No, I don't think so. At least not for this update. I'll make an update to the project with the changes that I've made here and probably make a new video for it. But I think for that update, I'll leave everything the same. The only other thing that I really wanted to do was I wanted to add like a large tree kind of beside the chalet, but I might do that in a future update. We'll see. Paul Britton asks so often in the chat, how do you get your ideas? I mean, that's like $1 million question right there. How do you get my ideas? I actually summarized all of the getting ideas into a talk I did for BrickCon like a few years ago. Actually, I think the video is online somewhere too. And it all boils down to just, well, there's like 5 different ways that I get my ideas. One is you just build something that's like a replica of something else. So something you're interested in. And this happens all the time. I mean, this is primarily what LEGO does. Like most LEGO sets are just LEGO versions of stuff that exists in other media. So if you're like really interested in something, I don't know, a certain car, whatever, build a LEGO copy of it. That's one way to get ideas. Another place I get ideas is I just get inspired by what other people build. So if I see something cool, and not just in the LEGO space, you know, just in the general realm of creativity out there in the world, if I see something cool, you know, it might inspire me to build something. Sometimes I'll get inspired by what other people do and just, you know, do a transformative piece. Oh, for example, the koi fish that I built 2 weeks ago. Obviously LEGO designed that koi fish, but I was inspired to make it move because I thought it would be really cool. So obviously that idea just came from that set. Sometimes I get ideas from mechanisms. I watch a lot of videos, and there's a whole YouTube rabbit hole you can go down just watching like mechanical creations and mechanisms and how things work. And sometimes I'll be inspired by like just a mechanism I see or some kind of movement I see, and then I'll build something like that, build like a model around that. And sometimes, you know, ideas just come from your imagination. Just like start thinking about things and something pops into mind. Are you sending the instructions to this? I probably won't make instructions for this anytime soon. We'll see how the project does on LEGO Ideas. And, you know, if it doesn't hit 10,000 supporters, I probably will make instructions for it at some point. If it does hit 10,000 supporters, then we'll see what LEGO does with it. If they reject it, which, you know, in all likelihood, it probably will get rejected. But just the percentages are super low for projects to actually succeed. Then we'll see. Maybe I'll make instructions for it. I guess there's a chance if the Bricklink design program ever continues that it could appear in that as well. So we'll see. Instructions will probably come for this at some point in some form in the future. Okay. Okay. I think I could just be here answering questions all day, but it's almost lunchtime and I'm getting hungry. Do you get your parts from sets or do you buy separately? Mike 8's Lego Mox. Okay, last question. I'd say most of the pieces I have come from Lego sets actually over the years, but in the last I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I've been buying just more and more pieces I need. Well, 10 years, I don't know. Basically now I think a lot of my parts just come from buying from Bricks and Pieces of Bricklink. And yeah. Okay. With that being said, we're almost at the 2 hour mark probably, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I just want to thank my moderators. I have 2 now who did a fantastic job in the chat as far as I can tell. And I really appreciate what you guys were doing, keeping on top of things. And I want to thank everybody that joined. It was great to see you all. It was great to answer the questions. Hopefully we'll do this again someday. Maybe in a couple weeks. We'll see. Thanks for everyone who joined. Hopefully I'll post an update to this in the next week or so. And with that, I'm signing off. Thanks for watching. Keep on building. We'll see you in the next one. And now you just have to wait while I figure out how to stop this thing. Okay, here we go.